Now, this is my camera?
Yes, it is.
There are only two? Or three?
There's one on Mike.
But there's two on us.
For this, yes.
This is a two-shot, and this is
It's not always
This is a wide.
Mike has live editing, but yeah.
He live cuts.
Oh, you move these?
He can.
Ours, he can. If we're making a really good point.
You've got one shot on
How
you.
many times would you say you've moved it in the past 20 episodes?
Well, you're our second ever guest in this space.
Yeah, we just moved to
Zero would be the
Zero.
answer.
Yeah.
So there's been 0 really good points?
Correct.
How's the energy? Because I'm having fun.
So all you've achieved so far is you dangled the fact that you have an ex-wife, and then we found it to be not true. So that's how we started.
I would say
this.
a lie, not a joke, but you said it was a joke.
Yeah. So we were doing some fun banter before this started. And then I'm like, oh, we're not recording? And now that we are
And then
recording.
you yelled at our producer. I want to put that on the air. He was violent and abusive.
Did you feel I yelled at you?
His spirit, his spirit hurts.
Tell the truth.
You cuck.
I came in, you're like, let me get you water. I'm like, I could get my water. I don't need somebody to get my water.
He was nice until he was not aware that we were not recording.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden,
I came in with
Guys,
the goods.
we're here with stand-up comedian Rick Glassman. Happy to have you here, man.
Hi.
Happy to have you.
Thank you for having me.
Hi.
Have you ever been married?
I haven't.
Have you ever proposed?
No.
Nice. Have you ever wanted to?
No.
All right, well, that's our
No.
time.
I could tell you there's probably maybe been moments where it's like, are we going to do this?
Like
And
moments,
those-
literal moments?
Did the thoughts
or
leave your mouth?
periods of time? Because sometimes I'll have a good day with someone. I'm like, we should get married. And then I'll wake up the next morning and I'll be like, that
Absolutely
was
not.
stupid.
That's
No.
an inside thought.
Yeah, never moments of just do you think we're going to get married?
You whisper it
That's
to
a sweet thing to
the woman?
say.
Yeah.
And they say, nah. Or what do they say?
I don't know why you're burning me like that.
No, I don't know. Well, you've never gotten married, so I've never been married, so it's not a burn.
None of us here have ever been married.
Some say not being married is a stronger choice.
Who?
I don't know. Some people.
People who didn't get
People who
proposed to.
no one will marry them.
Maybe. I guess it depends.
It's a hard feminist stance.
I've been watching a lot of Suits, as is the rest of the world. And
Yeah.
I would say this is hearsay. Now, this is my camera?
Yes, it is.
There are only two? Or three?
There's one on Mike.
But there's two on us.
Yeah.
For this, yes.
This
get
is
a
a
wide.
two-shot, and this
It's
is
not
one.
always
This is a wide.
Mike has live editing, but yeah.
He live cuts.
Live cuts.
Oh, you move these?
He can.
Ours, he can. Sometimes
you
if we're
have-
making a really good point.
You've got one shot on
But
you.
you have
That's
your
your
own.
You just have one.
How many times would you say you've moved it in the past 20 episodes?
Well, you're our second ever guest in this space.
Yeah, we just moved to
So-
Zero would be the
0.
answer.
Yeah.
So there's been 0 really good points?
Correct.
How's the energy? Because I'm having fun.
Oh, I think it's great.
Is
I
this
love
okay?
this.
Yeah, it's awesome.
The meaner you are, the more I like it.
Because I don't feel like
you
I'm
guys
being
do.
mean, but I do feel like I was getting a little competitive back to when we were having fun, and then the cameras came on and you called me out, and I'm like, all right.
Oh, let's get mean. Fuck it.
So thanks for having me.
Are you a mean guy? You
No-
seem very sweet.
Thank you. I have, I do know that I'm really competitive with a lot of things, including play and jokes. And
That's always fun to make play competitive.
Honestly,
are you being
yeah.
sarcastic or?
No, of course I'm being sarcastic.
Oh, so you don't think it's fun to get competitive with jokes and stuff?
No, I'm not. I'm
It
not a
I
super
think it could be
competitive
fun.
person.
I'm very competitive, and I think it's fun.
I'm only competitive with myself.
Yeah. I get that. That's great.
It's I imagine, a more peaceful existence. Because competing with others it's just a constant thing you got to think about.
Oh, I'm not necessarily competing with others. I, like you, really the only competition I have is a former version of myself. But in play.
Like a playful competition. I think
Yeah.
it's very nice.
You know, yes, I am that. Wait, do you have an improv background?
That's so funny to refer to as a background.
Do you have an improv
Experience?
But No, I'm not calling
Is
you out
improv
in a mean
part
way.
of your history?
That's like a way people say things. Like, do you have a background in improv? I just think that's a
It's
funny.
just, when
Like, I
someone's
took
doing
improv
something
classes.
annoying, I just go, "Do you have a background in
Right.
improv?"
That's your clue to realize that you're pissing her off. God, you must be a UCBer.
That's a new thing that when someone annoys us, we just go, "Oh, do you have improv?"
Just in no context.
You must do improv. Do you not like improv?
I did it for many years. I enjoyed it, but I just feel like for me it plateaued. And I think as far as like when I met stand-up comedians, I liked them a lot better than improvisers, but they all have problems.
Get the camera. That's a good point.
Yeah,
I get a good point.
yeah.
You got real serious there. We've enjoyed it. Well, it's funny that you bring that up because I
Yeah.
used to like improv a lot.
It is. Well, I had a fun time while I was there, but there was no future.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you this much. Whether it's stand-up or improv or bowling, it's really just who you're with.
I love bowling.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So you have a good relationship with yourself?
Yeah.
That's good. Has it always been like that, or did you have to fight for it? Or uncover it?
The relationship that I have always had with myself has always been with the awareness that I had. So as more awareness came, the relationship, I guess, changed. I don't really remember.
I guess I mean so what I personally would describe, like if somebody has a bad relationship with themselves and they're critical, they beat themselves up, they're kind of not their best cheerleader. So you've never really had any of that.
Yeah.
Nice.
I have the voice of my mom, my supportive mom in
Oh,
my
that's
head.
nice.
Yeah.
So growing up, she was.
Oh, biggest boy takes a big poopies.
Yeah,
everything.
that's sweet.
Play the piano for everybody. Will you play the piano?
Yeah.
Was she like a full stage mom or?
No, not at all.
No.
I wasn't in stage crafters as a kid. I was. Sorry, I thought I had a sneeze. I played
Okay.
basketball in pottery class, dance
Those
class.
don't go together.
Yeah, maybe not
do
in,
for
in
Rick.
New York City.
Wait, are you from California?
New York.
Oh, yeah. But wait. Aren't you from Ohio
Yeah, I'm
originally?
from Cleveland.
Okay, so I have a theory that men from Ohio are deeply mentally ill across the board.
Did you date somebody from Ohio?
Multiple, and they were like they were like broken in the same way.
Something's in the water, man.
Does she take accountability for herself?
Oh yeah. But sometimes it is everybody else.
No, there was this specific. It was just like
Good merch.
specifically men from Ohio, and I wanted to see like if we've never dated. I don't know anything about you, but like,
Are you saying we've never dated for the exposition for the audience or to
No.
remind me?
True.
You and I have never dated. So what's funny about this?
well, honestly, it's good to say on Guys We Fcked that we've never had sex or dated because everyone
You never
assumes that
know.
everyone thinks that we're fucking Mike. That no one in this room has fucked each other.
No.
Why do people think that then?
Because it's called Guys We Fcked, Rick. That's our book.
I read it. It's hilarious.
No, you didn't. You did not read it.
Before I came on.
You read. What did you read
Yeah.
it this week? Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, honestly,
What was your favorite part?
I could believe that it is a fast read.
The back of it.
What do you remember from the back of it?
Well,
No, you can't have it in your hand.
I wanna show you.
No, your memory's
I wanna
sucks.
show you.
No.
I really thought it was
No,
funny.
we already seen it. We wrote it.
Okay. I just remember a big fan of Harper One Publishing.
How are you on dates?
I try to have less processed refined sugar, so I use them as an alternative. But I
Right,
also
but when you're romantically going out with a woman, what
Not
is that
the
like?
food.
Oh,
This is gonna be a tricky interview. It's gonna be hard to get deep with you.
it's
Rick.
not.
It already is.
Well, let me explain what's happening now in a way that I could say what happens on a date.
Okay.
You meet people, you get to know them, you play. You do little jokes, you do little banter.
Mm-hmm.
You see, do you play well together? I have found that if I play well with another person, romantic or otherwise,
Mm-hmm.
there's probably going to be some good chemistry.
Yeah, that play chemistry. Yeah.
So before I get into, the deeper stuff, I want to wrestle a little bit.
I see.
But how does that work when you're going into a date cold with a woman and all of a sudden you're doing bits? Like, are you only dating comedians? How would they even know what's
I
happening?
don't date comedians.
Okay.
I've dated
not?
one person that is now a
There's venom in
comedian.
that.
No, I just don't.
I know
I've
a
never,
lot
I
of
never
male,
have.
I know a lot of male comics who say that, and I know their reasons. What are your reasons?
I haven't met a comedian that I wanted to go out with.
Oh, okay. So you don't have that as like a hard rule, because I know male comics that have that as a rule.
Yeah.
Because of a boundary that they don't even want to consider it, even if they met a female comedian that was lovely and they clicked. they're like, no, that's my rule.
The boundary is they want to
to
date hotter people.
Always. That's always the boundary.
I have a hard boundary for dating people hotter than comics.
And I get that.
Wait. You're saying
I do too.
you want to date hotter than comics, or you don't want to date hotter
No,
than comics?
I'm speaking as the male comedian
Yeah,
in this
male
scenario.
comedians.
I want to be dating somebody who's hotter than a comedian.
Than a
That's
female
when
comedian.
male comics say that there is an air of that to it. Yeah.
But you don't have it as a hard fast
There's a
rule.
lot
You've
of
just
pretty
not-
comedians.
you've-
I've never thought about that.
I agree. But you've not
I
met
can't name any. Go ahead.
Name like one kind of good looking one.
It's, that's not why I'm here.
You've just not met a female comedian that you wanted to date. So it's not a rule. When I say so it's not a rule for you. It just haven't met anybody that.
I'm counting how many girlfriends I've ever had.
Okay.
3, 4.
I've had 7 girlfriends.
Ooh.
So odds are there's never been a comedian, but that's the reason. It's
Okay.
not like, fuck, man, she's so smart and playful and funny and pretty, but she's a comedian.
Right. Got it.
I haven't
Wait,
done
how
that.
did you do the stats on that, though? You just counted on your figures, and then you said odds are there's not, but you're spending most of your time amongst comedians, and most people, if they don't meet someone in school, meet their partner in the workplace.
Then where do they meet them?
In the workplace.
Oh, you're saying if you don't meet them in school, it's in the workplace?
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever dated somebody that I worked with.
How do you meet people that you date?
Well, the past 4 girlfriends online.
Okay. Like
Like dating app or Instagram DM?
Twitter or Instagram.
Yeah.
Nice.
Almost everybody I meet is online.
Those are I feel like that's the
the times
dating,
we're
like
in.
the higher, like the dating apps. Once you have a public persona, that you can just use your
Instagram as
Instagram
Hinge.
or your Twitter as a Hinge.
Totally.
As a Hinge.
As Hinge.
As
like
Hinge.
the
In
app.
replace to
And
replace
Hinge
the
is
Hinge app.
just a dating app that is like, it doesn't have like a theme. It's just, because
No,
Hinge
you-
sounds like something.
No. It's just a
another
regular
dating
dating
app?
app. There's a certain type of design to it. Like you answer little prompts and stuff. So
Ooh.
you have like questions posed to you.
I would say it's a little bit better for people who are funny and can make conversation than
So if you want to
something
meet a
like-
comedian.
Yeah, if you want to make it, you'll meet lots of comedians when you're on Hinge. You'll just see
Yes.
them and you'll swipe no on them.
I mean, like most of the people I meet now are because of my podcast. So I have a person on every week, and almost all of them I meet online. That's just.
Oh, your guests you meet online.
Yeah, I'm saying
Oh,
I'm
interesting.
saying it's not just romantic partners. Like,
Right.
there are people you meet online who you want to collaborate with,
Sure,
or
yeah.
hey, meet this person, or for dating stuff.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel as superficial to me as I see other people receive it. Because, like, what am I going to meet you in a restaurant?
You could,
Just
but
walk
a
into
restaurant,
restaurants.
more a bar was probably.
I don't really drink.
Right. Okay.
I do a show and then I leave.
Yeah.
I don't want to date a fan.
Right.
I don't even know if I have any. Scoot doo. And what else is there? There's
Yeah.
just online.
Yeah.
I often think like, what if online just went away? What would we do?
If it went away.
We'd be
If
fine.
just the internet went, I think we'd be better off. But
Well, our whole childhood we didn't have the
Totally.
internet, and I was
we're
fine.
just so used to it now.
Yeah.
So if
Social
it goes
media,
away.
interpersonally, I think we would be fine. I think that the utility of like how I got here,
right. Totally
is
different.
I
You
don't
mean-
want to lose.
Right,
Yeah,
that's true. We
yeah.
wouldn't be sitting here. Well, wait. Okay, so do you think your childhood would have been better if you had online?
No, I think my childhood it was
Interesting.
tough, but the magical part of childhood I got to enjoy. I think because there was no screens. The only screen I had was a television.
Yeah.
and I
Were
didn't
you
watch
poor?
that often.
You were poor
So poor.
because you got to be what 20. So all this stuff was around.
Yeah.
Wow.
Rotary phone, really poor.
Wait. So how was your childhood? How did you end up like this? What's
good.
going on? Yeah. So your mom was really nice.
Yeah, my
That's
mom,
helpful.
my mom is nice. My dad is nice. My brother and I kind of did this stuff as brothers do, and
Beat the shit out of
Is
each
he
other.
older or younger than you?
he was 2.5 years older than me. We're about the
died.
same age now.
Okay,
Okay.
perfect.
And I didn't date. I didn't really date. I was scared of girls. Bar mitzvahs, a lot of bar mitzvahs where I'm from, and I used to. I was really scared to slow dance because, what are we going to do? And
Fuck.
Okay. You're 13.
Yeah.
So I would, I remember for the, bar mitzvahs are usually 7th and 8th grade, and girls would ask me to slow dance with them. And I would I think every single time I would make an excuse.
Yeah.
Either I would, like when there was a slow dancing, I would go away instead of being on the dance floor. But you never know, because then there could be a song, and then all of a sudden my heart will go on. It's like, I got to get out of here.
Right.
Yeah.
And
I remember that. Yeah. Middle school dances.
I didn't want to lie to anybody, so sometimes I would use like my mom's picking me up, and then I would go outside for a few minutes, and like just in case like they were watching me.
Right, right.
I would go outside to wait for my mom who's not picking me up, and I would even go like,
Yep.
You done something like that?
Oh yeah. All the
Act
time.
out.
I don't know how to explain what's actually happening here, and I don't feel comfortable or desire to, so I'm just gonna make up an excuse so you understand the situation,
And then really do,
and
back
act
it up.
out, lean into it. Yeah.
I used to, when I would drive to school, there was a circle to go around, and you'd have to wait sometimes you'd have to wait until you get up to the stop sign before you could do it. But 300 feet before the stop sign, there was an entrance to a bank, and you can't go cut through the bank. But I would cut through, and in case the cop saw me, I would cut through, and I would go through the ATM part, and I would go. And I would go, where is my, all right.
Yeah. I do that with like people with clipboards on the street on New York. I'll take my phone and be like, I told you. And then like, it'll go off and someone will call me. I'm like, fuck.
Yeah, you gotta be, I told you.
Yeah.
Because they see that if you're in distress.
Yeah, they clearly don't want to talk.
And then if it rings, they also know, she just is avoiding me.
Yes.
It works.
Yeah, in which case it's fine. But I'd rather them not. I'd rather them think I was genuinely on a call.
As to not hurt their feelings?
Yeah.
You know what
they're
I
doing
do?
a really good job with usually they're collecting money for like kids or dogs or something.
I like to acknowledge that.
Yeah.
I'll say,
Thank you for your service.
yeah, I'll say thanks. A lot of times when somebody asks me for money, I'll tell them, and if I don't want to give it, I'll say I don't ignore them.
Yeah. That's rude.
I go,
to
not
ignore
today.
That. Yeah.
I go, not today.
Oh, not today. That's a good one.
Yeah.
I say I don't have any because I used to give all my money away when I moved here and I was broke.
But you say I don't have any when you do have some?
Yeah, because if I'm not giving you 20.
Right.
And I feel bad because if you're in the West Village, you give one person money, it's like
You're hungry 30 minutes later.
No, but they tell people come and ask you for money in the West Village like every 20 minutes.
That's a
also-
place where there's a lot of people asking for money. I don't know the
Yeah,
area.
like outside
yes,
the
yes,
cellar.
yes.
Outside
Is
the
that how it
cellar
got
is
the
like
name West Village?
Yes.
yes, because everyone tries to get your money. So West Village.
Yeah, I get it.
I gave a
Those are
guy
interesting
$1
origins I never put
yesterday,
together.
and then he goes, "Can you do 5?" And I was like, I appreciate the hustle, but no, I cannot.
Yeah.
I like that though. That's
feel bad
very
picking-
New York attitude.
Yeah.
My dad told me he was crossing the street, and there was an older man crossing too who was having a little bit of trouble, and my dad even noticed him beforehand. Not that he noticed he was homeless or a beggar, just like my
A
dad
beggar?
felt.
That's so vintage.
Yeah.
That's a kind of literal term, begging for money.
Right, I know, but I mean, we're not
Begging.
even supposed to. You're supposed to be like unhoused,
But I don't know if he has a home or
money
not.
less.
Right.
I don't
it wasn't
know.
obvious.
Lower-
It
Yeah,
wasn't
some
apparent.
people
Right.
have
A lot
homes.
of people
That is their
ask
job.
for money and they
He
have
just
a
had a
home.
beggar vibe, is you're saying?
He didn't. I'm saying he had none of
No,
this vibe. My
okay.
dad just had empathy for the. He said he
Right.
clocked this person and was just like,
Right.
And then this person came up to him and he goes, "You got an extra 20?"
An extra
An
20.
extra
wow.
20?
Just to ask for 20 is funny enough, but to refer to it as extra is if
Wow.
I have at least if you have 120,
Oh, I
I
didn't
don't
need
want
this
it.
one.
I
Here
was
you go.
trying to
Yeah.
get this 20 out of my pocket anyway. I was burning a hole.
And my dad goes, "That's a big ask. I'll give you 5."
That's a very generous donation that your dad just made.
Well, he had a little empathy for him.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's nice.
Do you have empathy? How's your empathy?
Yeah, what are your empathy levels?
Could you give me an example by telling me yours?
I'm very empathetic to a little too much to the point where like I'll feel somebody's emotions and then take them on, and that's too.
That's like-
it verges into like codependence and kind of like meshing together. But I feel for people. I have the ability to feel empathy for like somebody who's done the most heinous thing in the world. So I just have high empathy levels, I would
It's
say.
interesting that I've been gesturing how much my back hurts.
I knew what
and-
you were doing.
I knew you
was
were
like,
doing,
this
but I
guy's
was
doing
like,
a fucking bit over
I don't
here.
got
So we
empathy
asked him
for
how
the
his
not the
back
truth.
is. Anytime a man is in discomfort, I show no empathy. So mine's based on sex.
Hers
What did
is
these
low.
Ohio men do to you?
Well, no, I can't. Honestly, I can't even get into it.
Have you gotten into it on the pod before?
Yes.
Yeah, it's weird. Like
Yeah.
it's weird that is the commonality.
But
Like,
we have had a lot of women then message us and be like, yes, there is something specifically wrong with men in Ohio. So then I felt less crazy.
maybe your pipes got lead in them or something. You didn't stay there that very long.
I've dated people
stayed
from
there for a while.
California, Texas. Like those states were fine.
Oh, the big two. So,
Honestly, they are more prominent than many other states.
California, Texas, Florida. You know, those are the three big ones.
Chicago, New York,
down there.
Chicago is not a state.
Illinois then. But I'm just talking about the big markets.
Okay.
My touring schedule.
Ohio is like, much like, California. Where in Ohio are you? Like.
Yeah, there's parts.
I mean,
I would say you're in Columbus.
Cleveland, and then you go 25 minutes east, you're in the suburbs, and then another 30 minutes east, and then you're literally in Amish country.
Right.
And then you go, I grew up in a very diverse, Northeast Ohio is very diverse. A lot of liberals, a lot of Republicans, a lot of Jews, a lot of black people, a lot of Asian people. Like, I grew up in a very diverse area and didn't realize until I went to college, which at Kent State, which is not even an hour away, and it's very, like, no Jews, pretty white.
Allowed.
I was like, it says that. It's Ohio. It says that.
No
when you walk in.
Jews.
I didn't.
Just a white sheet.
I like the way I see people looking at Ohio now, and I understand it, was like, that's not where I'm from.
Right. But that's where you went to college.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not even putting. I know that what you're thinking about, that what people put in Ohio, that is pushed aside. I'm not even worried about that. It's just specifically how boys are being raised in Ohio, and I
have so many great friends from Ohio.
I'm genuinely interested in that because it seems like something's going wrong.
All over Ohio, Cincinnati, Columbus.
And you found no commonality between Ohio men. That does not stand true for men from other states.
I don't have this. I don't have the same radar that you have. I'm not.
Right, you're not dating men.
These men.
Yeah,
right.
But I'm
Yeah.
friends with them.
So you get treated differently.
And as I was saying before, dating and friendship, like, it really is very much about play for me. For
Right.
for establishing that, like, is this worth it?
Yeah.
If we're going to be in any kind of relationship, friendship or romantic, I hope I'm bringing something. If not, you'll have to let me know. But, like, what are you bringing me?
Yeah.
And play and kindness.
Mm-hmm.
And I have a lot of friends that are, I don't have a lot of friends. I don't know if I have any. But, no, I have a fair amount of friends and acquaintances that are nice and playful.
lovely people.
And, yeah.
I'm from Ohio.
You are from Ohio? Or you said
And
from
from
yeah.
Ohio, yeah.
People, like, when people ask, if you travel and what is this place like, or, oh, you got to go here, like the people or
No one's
the
ever
food
said that
or
about
whatever.
Ohio.
Whenever anyone says that about anywhere, what does that mean? Everything is just a bunch of people and some
Yeah,
restaurants.
sometimes the
Everyone's
vibe.
the same.
Well, no, there's vibes because we tour a lot, which you do too, right? Like there's vibes.
Not probably as much as you guys.
Okay, so there are vibes. Like some towns, you're like, fuck, man. Like South Carolina's got some awesome towns that I never would have thought. Like South Carolina is like a destination place, but there's some cities in that state that are really lovely, and then some places where I'm like, oh, it's so depressing.
Like where?
I don't mean, Baltimore's a little depressing, even though I love Magooby's Comedy Club. I love that. One of my favorite
Shout out
clubs.
to Megumi's Comedy Club.
But the city itself is it could be a bummer. It's a bummer. The people aren't bad though. Like I'm trying to think
And
of
what is it?
places
And
like
what's the bummer?
like
The
in Boston.
the
sometimes,
architecture?
Yeah, a lot of it. Like a lot of the way that the city's divided financially is like just fucked. It fucks the people that live there,
Yeah.
and it's just right in your face. And it's like, fuck, this is sad.
Yeah.
And like extreme wealth on top of extreme poverty, unlike anything I've ever seen. And we live in New York, so that's an example of
You
that.
guys rich?
No, I mean now.
I mean, I say rich, but comfortable.
Yeah, I'm like we don't walk around being like I'm rich.
Yeah, I did at first, and then I spent.
Who
all
has
my
more money between the two of you, or is it around the same?
Oh, she has more money. I spend more.
Oh, is that why?
Yeah,
Do you not
probably.
spend much?
I mean, I don't anymore. I don't spend any. Like I try to not spend any money anymore. But
spend money on- I don't
she's
know.
She's better with money.
I bought an apartment when we first started making
Yeah.
like so.
But you got a mortgage, like a smart person.
yeah, I
Yeah.
got a mortgage.
I got a house with my parents.
She
all
paid in cash, the white trash thing they can do. I love
paid
it.
in
I love
cash
it though.
for my parents, and then I stopped talking to them.
She handed it to the broker in an envelope.
You don't talk to your
No, you
parents
didn't.
anymore?
No, don't talk to either of them. And they're just sitting pretty in my house. It's technically my investments because I own
Yeah.
50% of the house, so I didn't like give them cash.
Yeah.
But like hundreds of thousands of dollars just. And then I forgot it is
That's
white
just a
trash.
few ads.
You got to no.
I wish.
You got to pay taxes on that money you made that you just spent, and you gave it all to your dad.
What do you spend? You said that you used to spend a lot of money. You don't anymore. What kind of things are you spending money on?
Amazon, clothes, Uber, black Ubers. Like they're really expensive now. But there was a time when Uber was super cheap to get you hooked onto the app. And I used to buy the fancy Ubers.
That's
I'm like,
so funny.
What the fuck?
I think I've
She's
taken an
rich as
Uber
leaves.
Black one time.
Oh, nice.
We have someone who could have done that to you.
I could have given you. I could have gotten you.
That wouldn't have been
water.
him, that wouldn't have been him if he let someone else get the water.
That's true. But I would take Uber Blacks.
Yeah, I think that's
ridiculous.
a fair expense.
I would do.
It's a fair expense.
I would order for every meal, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I would order on like DoorDash or something. That's so expensive.
And that's also crazy
I mean-
knowing you that you were ordering 3 meals a day because you eat so much less
know,
than me.
I know.
And I've never once eaten 3 meals in a day.
Do you ever
really?
order
I
know.
multiple entrees for lunch so you don't have to order again for dinner? Because that's a way to save $8.
Or
Yes.
I mean, now I'm really good with like I cook a lot. I don't meal prep. That's my next step that I want to do. But or if I order something on DoorDash, I'll get like something that's I know is a big dish, and I'll just have it the next day too.
I
And I don't buy clothes anymore.
love ordering food.
It's awesome.
It's a video game. And then you always get a prize. You always
It's the
win.
best prize. Yeah.
Wait,
it's
how is it
so
a video
fun.
game though?
You're
You're
just
like,
on
which
here and
one do
like,
I wanna go
like
to?
there are times where there are
You
times
see
where I
the guy
have food at
coming.
home, something I would want to eat,
Yeah.
but I'm like, I want to order something.
There have been
fun.
times where I've gone to the grocery store, come back, order something.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
I do
what
all the time
the
because you're
fuck?
so tired
I
from the
know.
shopping that you have to immediately get
I know, and
sustenance
you're
because
like,
you're out of energy from all that shopping.
Okay, I'm glad you do it too. Because I'm like, I
Yes.
feel so stupid when I do
No.
that. I'm like, I just grocery shop, spent a couple $100, and then I'm ordering.
Oh no, I don't even pretend I'm going to be eating the food that I bought that day.
That's good.
On my agenda, it is go to the food store, then go home and
Go to the food store.
and then
I mean,
go
never-
to the food
doesn't cook.
store and then come home and order something because I'll be exhausted from carrying. And also in New York, you have to carry the bags.
Oh my god!
get an Uber
several
Black.
blocks. No,
If you're me,
no, I'm not going to do that. I
Dude,
carry
that-
it home.
I look back at the amount of and I'm like, you fucking idiot, Krystyna. You're so
I'm still
dumb.
doing that.
Yeah, you like careless
Like-
spending.
It's not careless. I've
Well-
made. I have decided that I'm very intentional and I know what I'm doing, and it's such a
that's
luxury
nice.
for me
That's good.
that I do it.
Yeah, I've noticed I'll spend money when I feel powerless or when I feel out of control in my life or when my self-esteem is low. Like I look back at those years that there was like 2 years where I was just spending so poorly, and I was like, that's also what it had to do with.
Was this when you stopped talking to your parents?
Yeah, about so. But I think doing it intention is key.
There are times where I'll want food that either doesn't deliver I'm too far, or they don't do delivery. So I'll order and I'll pick it up. And while I'm driving there, I'm like,
This is bullshit.
yeah, like I might as well be farming this food and cooking it. It's such a to-do.
Yeah.
And
Terrible. So sorry.
I haven't, I make a little bit more, I make more money than I used to make.
Nice.
And with that, my lifestyle hasn't changed with the exception of I order food constantly.
Yeah.
And when I Uber, and I don't much, I much prefer to drive. I want a big car. I want a nice car.
Yeah. I got a nice car is great.
My rent, I still rent. And I say that because I don't have a big mortgage.
Yeah.
I could have.
You have a savings
that.
account, I imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But my food spending is probably close to my rent.
Wow. So that makes sense because when you look at the fees,
That's not crazy, yeah.
because I look like Corinne and I have the same account. There's this one accountant company that works for like a lot of comedians, and they'll do the thing where they go, "This is how much you spent on food this
Like a
quarter,"
business
like
manager?
delivery. Not a business manager.
Is it a comedian accountant?
Well, they're an accountant, and then
accounting firm that works
clients are a
primarily with
lot of
comedians. So they know how to do like those difficult entertainment taxes
That should be a
and stuff.
show like Suits.
Pitch it.
But then they do, here's how much you spent. Here's how much money you got out of the ATM
It's a
for
real
drugs.
fucking mushroom stamp.
Here's how, here's how much you spent on and the deliveries, the amount of I'm like, oh, that's terrible. I could technically say that they're all business expense because
If you go through
I
Uber
work from
Eats.
home. I got,
But also Uber Eats,
they don't differentiate.
it says Uber. Are you saying because the food you're going to be ordering is delicious? Yeah, Uber Eats is Uber.
But the fees. So I looked at it and I'm like, okay, because I want to see where can I be scaling back on my spending? And those fucking fees, the taxes and delivery fee, and then you tip on top of that is insane. It adds $20 extra to if you were just to drive to the restaurant.
That's why
are
you have to be
restaurant-
like in the thing. Sorry, you have to be like in Seamless One. You have to join the.
Doesn't matter. They still fuck you.
They do
Because they don't call
I
it
say no to
delivery
that every
fee.
time.
They don't call it delivery fee. They call it a service fee, and it's different, and it's fucking nuts. And I just
so
don't
many
get from
fucking
those
fees.
restaurants.
Yeah.
There's some restaurants where
Oh, some specific restaurants.
Yeah,
you're
some
saying.
specific
Oh,
restaurants
yeah.
have a fee, and you're like, what the fuck? Are you gonna suck my dick? What the fuck?
it's like 8 to 12% on top
Yeah.
of the prices that are already a little higher, which I get. The restaurant's losing money, COVID, and we protected restaurants and they're heroes. But then you're tipping.
Yeah.
And plus the tax.
I wonder if the fees are higher in LA though because you have to drive, and in New York it's mostly bicycle delivery.
My girlfriend lives in New Jersey. I am
Does she
ordered-
really?
Yes.
This for
Is
real?
a real person.
So you live in LA and she lives in New Jersey?
Yeah. And boy, are my arms tired. And I get delivery
Swim
there a
there?
lot. And there are some restaurants where the fees are just, what the fuck's going on, man?
Yeah.
Now I'm just thinking about how you found a girlfriend in New Jersey from LA.
Well-
I mean, online, obviously.
So online, going out on a date, like a cold date, I haven't done that too much because
Me neither, yeah.
before, hey, let's go out, there has to be a reason for us to want to go out. So we've either mingled in some way, somehow, organically, or what I like FaceTime dates
Oh yeah, those are nice.
Why'd you hug yourself?
because part of what
I
I
feel
like
like
about
a
a FaceTime
blanket.
date is like a little little defensive in a way
So
that
you feel
I'm okay
safe
with.
from the distance, but you can still get
You could just
FaceTime.
It's not the
like,
distance.
close your laptop.
It's not the
Yeah, you
distance.
could just throw your phone across the room and you're not talking to her anymore.
I mean, sure, but it's more so like I don't often have expectations for things that I'd be projecting onto. Like, I think it's a good thing, but it wasn't like, it was just more like, I have no idea how this is going to go, and I just never really even thought to write the story. But with that, I learned that a lot of people do that. I could argue pros and cons to both. You could be prepared to go into a situation if you have an idea of how it might be going down.
Yeah, you get a little taste of your chemistry of the chemistry that you could have. I imagine.
Well, more so like the actual logistics of getting the door for you.
Yeah.
And then how's your? You say you don't talk to your parents. Oh.
Yeah.
What's that? What that must be?
Right.
Tough. And then it's needing to just have and what are we doing? I just think a date is very, very hard because all I want to be doing, for better or for worse, all I want to be doing is doing jokes and playing with you. And I don't mean jokes mother-in-law comedy. I just mean,
Right.
just
So does that hinder developing a connection, or does it strengthen it? Or because to me, sometimes for people and for comics, jokes are walls. Sometimes they're not. Sometimes jokes are vulnerable. But for if you're looking for the joke, to me, that would say there's less opportunity to be really vulnerable with that person on a date. But what is your experience with that?
well, I don't know how I'm received almost ever.
Right. Okay.
The best awareness I now have as an adult is that I don't know that, as opposed to assuming that
Right.
they think what I think.
Yeah.
I do know that after meeting enough people and having enough experiences, and by the way, podcasting included, so
Totally.
many long form conversations with people you don't know that you do know. I accept that I need to be able to play with you. I need it. I want to do games. I want to do jokes. I
Yeah.
want to be silly. And if that gets in the way of something, I'm sure it cannibalizes something. But whatever it cannibalizes is something this isn't compatible.
Yeah. Got it.
Like it's your love language, and like you'll find someone who can speak that language to you.
Yeah, it's my language.
Yeah. It seems like your language in most relationships. Like, even if it's just like one off, I'm meeting you to work with you for a day, or I just meet you for a second.
Because
It's how you connect.
it's how I connect. I also know the obstacle in that is people never know when I'm joking or serious.
Right.
Also, people thinking that my jokes don't have real meaning behind them, or vice versa.
Right. Yeah, that does get in the way. That can get in the way, I imagine.
Yeah, like I know this isn't fair for me to expect this, but like know what I'm talking about. No, I'm joking. Know that. And if you don't know that, say, "Are you joking?" And then I'll tell you.
Okay.
But will you tell us?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it was off camera, but before we did, I
Yeah,
said
the divorce
my
thing.
ex-wife, and then something about an ex-wife, and I immediately said, just so I make sure I was making a joke there, I'm not lying to you.
Right.
Like sometimes,
Well,
if
because I said, "Were you married?" and you said yes, and then
Yeah.
and then
Sure,
Right.
sure, but like, I mean, my intention wasn't to deceive.
No,
I
nor
see.
was it taken as such. I wasn't like personally offended. I just got excited because I
deceived.
thought it would be.
Oh,
a
we can
juicy...
talk about wife shit now.
Well, exactly. Well, because
Yeah.
I truly am excited at the concept of young people who have
How
been
old
through
do you think I
divorce.
am?
You're 39. I looked it up.
23.
No, and I'm 37.
35.
It's fine. You just had a birthday. Happy belated birthday.
Oh,
Thank
happy
you so
belated.
much.
I was looking at your Instagram, and you had a clip where you're talking to Trevor Noah about autism.
Yeah.
What and I know that the spectrum is very wide, and I imagine how does it show up for you?
I'm not going to not answer this, and we'll talk about it, but I do want to talk about how, like, I don't love talking about autism all the time. And when I go on other people's podcasts,
is that all they wanna talk about?
It's brought up a bit.
Well, you pinned it to your Instagram though.
I'm not. I'm not.
The reason I was excited to talk about it was because we've never had somebody come on with autism to talk about it, but we've had a lot of specifically men write us, and they say like it's difficult for them to date, and I'm like, I don't know what to tell you because I don't know, I don't have experience with that. So that's why
I'll get into it. I was just prefacing because like I don't I walk out of podcasts sometimes and it's just like I don't want to have this always to be a thing.
Yeah, I get it. You don't want that to be your whole identity. Of course.
But
Yeah.
we could talk about it some because it does. I do think it does.
I'm just curious how it relates with dating.
Yeah, is a big version of that. And it's pinned because I really like that clip. I mean, I'm
Yeah,
not.
like, we like the
I'm
clip
not hiding
too.
anything.
No, I know.
I just in this format.
But I'm also saying like that's so people will continue. Like if you don't love always talking about it, I think it's like people will continue to ask about it because of that, especially when you're going on a podcast when people like don't know you as well. It's like a topic.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But it's also
the fact that it's pinned is because it's one of the first things I saw.
Some of those other podcasts are just bringing it up to bring it up. I feel like it actually is relevant to the topics that we cover on this show.
Yeah.
Do you need more water?
I brought another one over,
okay.
so I'm okay for now.
Okay.
Autism. They drink a lot of-
Is that autism?
No.
Makes you thirsty. I
No.
was like, now
autism
you're definitely
makes you
fine. I've never heard
prepared.
that.
That's what I've heard about the autistic people.
They're thirsty
Well, I know
characters.
I'm really into like spirituality and stuff, and I took this class by this woman, and there was a scientist she co-taught it with, and she was talking about like the levels on the extreme level of autism scale where you're nonverbal. Most people who are nonverbal autistic have like you could call it psychic abilities, but really their sensitivity is so heightened that if you write something on a piece of paper and don't show it to them, they'll tell you
Each
exactly
other
what word.
sentences. Sorry, I tried it.
I know. But so then that ability is like, that's very impressive. I'm like, that's amazing. And then I looked into more studies. I'm like, holy shit, this is like a thing. But I don't know much about the other end of the autism scale. And we get a lot of questions about it with dating. And I don't know what to say. So I'm curious.
Well, how about we talk about stuff, including like the FaceTime dating and the jokes and first dates and the connection. And some of it I'm sure is heavily related to that stuff, and some of it is just unique to to me or anybody who's neurotypical or otherwise.
Mm-hmm.
I do know that when I was talking about not knowing how people receive me,
Mm-hmm.
that is facial cues was always a thing,
Okay.
or never a thing, I guess I should say, for me.
Mm-hmm.
And then I started to kind of learn them, and then I I became a little, not obsessive, but like, are you nodding because you're like, you understand what I'm saying? Or are you doing that for me to show that you're listening? Would you tell me if you're not interested?
Okay, I see.
I would, once I became aware of that stuff, I would start to apologize a lot.
Apologize for what in particular?
Before I would do something that I annoyed you, confused you, made you feel misunderstood. Am I talking too much?
Okay, got it.
Is this okay for me to be saying? You know, you asked earlier if I consider myself a nice person. I think that's what you asked. I don't know if did you say are you a mean person? But
Are you a mean person?
Yeah, I think that's what it
and
was.
how's your relation? Oh yeah, I asked that, and like how your relationship was to yourself. Meaning, like, are you nice to yourself or mean to yourself?
But I get really competitive, and I like to bust balls, and especially in a format where it's podcast, more specifically with other comedians.
Yeah.
And then like I'll go really hard sometimes.
Oh, too hard.
No.
Okay, I was gonna say in the comedy world, you kind of can't. The only way you can go too hard in comedy is if it's not funny. But if it's funny and it's rough,
But
that's kind of the best.
But the audience is deciding if it's funny for two reasons. One, do they think it's funny? And that's heavily influenced by the reaction shot of the person I'm talking to.
Right. Yeah.
So if you guys are laughing, I'm being funny. If I'm doing the same exact thing and you're not laughing or they don't know me and they know you and I'm coming into your house coming aggressive, then I'm mean.
Right. I see.
That's always how I come off. Like people never know like what my persona is, and so anytime I do I just stop doing other people's podcasts because I'm going.
She gets misread often.
This is ridiculous.
How do you know that you're being misread? Comments?
They just tell her to her face.
The comments, yeah. Wild. So like the comedians are pretty much all fine with me, except for the ones I have known problems with.
Is there drama of things that is like public that I'm not aware of?
No, I was just like referencing. I had like one huge nemesis, but like we're totally friends now. So
is this a public nemesis?
Yeah, Louis J. Gomez. It's fine. We're totally fine now.
Louis, come in for a second.
That's already been done to me on the radio. That wouldn't be the first time that's happened for sure.
It's fun. But so yeah.
But the way I had a I don't remember.
You were
I had a
saying
girlfriend. No, I know what I'm saying. I just don't remember who said it to me. If it was my girlfriend at the time, or my mom when I was dating that girl. What's the difference?
There is none.
But that's your girlfriend. That's not your friend. I remember that line was told to me because I'm going hard.
Yeah.
And that made so much sense to me. And then I was like, I have to treat it different. And then I started to resent that.
Oh yeah.
Because that's not my girlfriend.
Right.
Because I only want to date a friend.
Yeah, no, totally. What type of behaviors or things were you saying to this person that made the other person go, you're not treating this person like a girlfriend? Like roasting her or something like that. Okay.
I do that too. I've gotten in trouble for that, like, a lot.
For roasting boyfriends?
Yeah.
Do they
minded
do it first? Like, do you go back at them, or out of nowhere are you just like, fuck you, you
Fucking
little
asshole.
dick Ohio bitch?
Okay, well, I didn't say that. I mean, playful, and these are people who are also comedians. So
right, and roasting is a form of play.
Yes, almost exclusively. So it should be. Yeah. Are you sick?
Because I sniffed.
You feeling? Did that make you feel sick? Yeah. So, but it's
interesting. No.
But I'm always getting like not yelled at, but people don't like it.
People are the people you're dating?
Yeah.
And they say, stop it, I don't like this.
Yeah, but they want me to treat them how they see like girlfriends on TV treating them, and I go, well, then you're dating the wrong person. It's not. I think they expect my behavior to change when we enter a relationship, but it does not change. It remains the same as it was when we were friends. I mean, except for we have sex now.
Yeah, now you fuck.
Yeah, I connect a lot with that. Why are we presenting something? I dated a girl once, and she would sleep. She didn't earlier in the relationship. She didn't get sleep really if we slept in the same bed.
Right. Okay.
So
understandable.
I would stay at her house for a little bit and then go home, or she would stay at mine and then go home. But she doesn't drive. So I'm driving everywhere. I'm picking her up. I'm doing and totally comfortable with it until I'm not.
Right.
And there was one time where we were leaving a place, and she wanted to come back to my place, and I said, because she stayed over sometimes. I would say, or sometimes. Usually that wasn't the thing. I said, if you don't want to stay over, maybe I'll just come to your place for a little bit, or just call a night. I'm just don't want to drive you home at 3 a.m.
Totally.
And she was comfortable getting Ubers, but 3 a.m. she didn't want to.
Okay.
I get that.
Yeah.
And I don't remember exactly what the point that made me feel like I wanted to put my foot down on this was, but there was something where she's like, it's when you're dating somebody, it's nice to want to pick them up and to drop them off, and
at the beginning.
Yeah,
that's
you're
what
not a
she.
chauffeur.
But that's what she said. She said at the beginning, because we were. I don't know how. Let's say this is 3 months in, but at the first
3 months isn't the very beginning. I'm talking like.
But also, she was trapped in one place. I was in one. We weren't. We were kind of long distance for that time. So
Okay.
when we were together,
So
it wasn't.
she felt that you should have wanted to take her.
And when
Which I'm like,
when she said that, she said it like that though. She's like like when we're first starting out, you should show up this way. And then I said, but then what? And not do that in 3 months? She's like, yeah, but it's a tell of how you treat somebody at the beginning. I'm like, I'm gonna do the same thing in 5 months, which is I'll drive a lot of the times, and if I don't want to, I'm going to tell you.
Right.
But people consciously are like, you show your best self at first before you could then
Which
start
is
doing
fucked
this.
Up. Yeah, that's fucked up. That's setting up you're up to fail.
Yeah.
That's also setting up the expectation that I'm going to not be as respectful or not be as present or not be as whatever in a couple months. Like, people ebb and flow and they go in cycles,
But why is that a thing?
Why is what a
Why
thing?
do people think, because people do, and I guess the argument could be like, well, you show your best self because it's polite before you, and then once you get to know somebody.
Right, which really isn't polite because then you're kind of showing them a mask, which is what most people do. But I think that's actually fucked up. I think it's better if you're yourself at the beginning because then if you're in for me. You're not in for this best version of myself that I got to fucking keep up.
And that's why I am going to come in hot with bits.
Right,
and let
right.
you
You're
have the
showing-
opportunity to say, I'm not into this guy.
Totally. Yeah, that's smart. That's smart because then they're falling for you and not this version of you that you think you should be.
Also, like, so much is boring.
Totally.
Like if I don't know what it's like because you guys don't have guests all the time. And you have to talk to the same. That's tough, isn't it?
No, it's actually really, really enjoyable. Because when we talk, though, we make it a point. When it's just the three of us, the conversations are fun. They're really interesting. We're like, what is this concept? What does it mean to me? What did it mean to me when I was 20? What did it mean to me when I was 30? So I love that kind of shit.
Because we have a subject matter that we're like concentrating on.
So
we
have
have a narrowed.
Right.
It's really enjoyable.
But in real life, you're not coming into every interaction with segments.
No, but I am coming to almost every conversation I've ever had. The way that you approach with fun is like, I want to enjoy this interaction with this person. That doesn't mean we like do a segment or I do a bit. It just means we just have a nice hi,
But I think a lot of people do have segments. So like when you think about the things that you like to talk about, like for
topics.
Yeah.
You're saying in
crutches.
real life?
Yeah, like crutches of like the weather is a hack segment that people
like
have.
if I'm thinking of
Things
like,
that you like.
oh, I want to relate
Yeah.
to Krystyna. I'm like, well, I'll talk about aliens with
Yeah,
like Krystyna.
right.
Like there are like certain topics that kind of do feel like segments if you want to talk to a particular person.
Are you in a relationship right now?
No.
Okay. Well, when you're public about it, I'll ask you this.
Honestly, this is so hilarious. I just have to stop, and I know you don't want to talk about autism a lot, but I basically I'm always on a different page than the guests, like notoriously. So it's very humorous to me that someone who's very on to me happens to be on the spectrum. And I just want to point that out for everyone.
type of intelligence.
It's very interesting. Well, I have obsessive compulsive disorder, which is why I can't like sit still on this couch. It's driving me nuts. But there's a lot of overlap in the two things, which I learned from watching Love on the Spectrum.
Like you're so pretentious that
I was reading the show.
Yeah.
It's a reality TV show. I was like, I'm gonna pick up a book.
Let's prep for Rick.
I read Love on the Spectrum. Okay. What was the question you wanted to ask me though?
But the way you when it doesn't matter. There's the the person that when you're dating somebody in 2 months and you guys are talking all the time, if you're not being playful, if you're not singing with each other, if you're not making up dances, if you're not doing puns, if you're not doing impressions or whatever your version of thing is, how many segments do you have to talk with him about? What could you possibly talk to him about?
Like philosophical things, but that's not something you want to talk about all the time. It's exhausting. I totally get that. And my boyfriend, I'm dating somebody who is one of the most playful men I've ever met, ever. And we just do sketches and
bet
characters.
I could beat him.
I don't know.
No, I'm joking. I was just joking about competitive.
But we both have characters now. Like we'll develop a character and we know that one's, you put that one in the roster if the other one laughs really hard at it. And that we wake up talking in voices, we end talking in voices, and it's a way of relating that's fun and silly. That's like, it takes the stress away from everyday life too. So it is a nice way to connect.
Some people don't like to play games.
Right.
And it's like, I get that there's a world for you, but it's like, then what segments do you want to talk about then?
If you could have fun, why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm that camp for sure.
So that being said, starting a date, FaceTime, because if we go to where would you go? I guess a Maroon 5 concert?
Absolutely.
Or wherever you would go on a date.
Yeah, right.
A Maroon 5 concert.
Where would you go on a date? You go to eat or you go bowling?
Walk in a park is
You
really
love
nice. Oh, bowling's awesome. Like some type of sport, like playing pool or something.
Do you
could
think
be
that's because you're Jewish? I'm Jewish too. I know that sounded anti-Semitic.
Is it because you're a Jew?
No, but like Jews, we like bowling more than other people.
I never knew that. I just grew up. That was like, what do you go to the
My
movies
dad
and you go
loves
bowling?
bowling. He's not Jewish.
No, I'm not saying everyone who
Yeah.
loves bowling is Jewish, but it seems like okay. So like, but almost all Jews love bowling.
So what you're saying is like a square is not is a rectangle, but a rectangle is not a square. Like if you're a bowler, it doesn't mean you're Jewish. But if you're Jewish, you probably like to bowl.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, I truly think that is so.
That was very poetic to say it that way.
I just think it is.
I truly think that is so.
This is the kind of shit we talk about on the podcast. Like, you ever think about this shit? Like,
why do Jews love bowling? What is it about it that speaks to
there's gotta
us?
be a
I've never
reason.
made that connection. I
haven't either,
believe
but
it.
I've constantly
I don't know
noticed
Jews
it.
who hate
Well,
bowling.
let me check.
Well, because
Do Jews love bowling?
please, I want to see what she says.
Wait,
Yes.
I'm going to say, why do Jews love bowling? Why do Jews?
Like,
Siri does know everything.
Right, I mean, like part of it is like it's a sport you can do inside and not like schwitz. So I think that maybe
the
is
rich, complicated history of Jews and bowling.
Yes, I see.
Well, you could find anything if you search it.
I wrote by Corinne
I
Fisher.
mean, no, it was written in 2020, written by Benjamin Ivey. September marks the 125th anniversary
I know.
of the format of the
Benjamin,
American
though.
Bowling Congress, codifying U.S. bowling standards and regulations, a group with surprisingly powerful Jewish resonance. The German Jewish literary historian Gustav Karpels noted that Moses Mendelssohn, some Jewish guy,
Bombing on a first date.
the 18th century Jewish Enlightenment thinker, was so obsessed with bowling that he referred to it metaphorically, even at life and death moments. Wow. There was poems.
How many life and death moments did he have where he would then bring up bowling?
Oh, he was forced to justify himself as a Jew to government authorities. When I go bowling with Christians, I knock down all the pins wherever I can. Bowling is a recreation for my body, writing for my mind.
Oh, he made it like some kind of he somehow that's so Jewish to somehow make it about the Holocaust.
Yeah, it's like, for all the Jews who died before me, I will knock one pin down.
Yeah. Speaking of pun intentions, maybe a Holocaust thing pinned at his Instagram.
Yeah.
Do we think that Benjamin Ivey is Jewish? I've never heard.
Wait, is it Ivy? I thought she said Ivory.
It's Ivry, Ivry.
I don't know. I've never heard that
doesn't
last name overall.
No.
But it just seems like something that
Ivy what?
Ivry.
Google a photo and then we'll all decide just by
Oh,
looking.
at first, bowling was considered pastime for German-American drinkers in urban saloons.
Told you
But the Jews
What?
took it over and made it better.
that it was in urban saloons.
I don't recall.
Play the
that.
tape.
It was
Replay the
before, It was
tape.
before the camera. When we were
Play
talking
the
about
tapes.
before the camera came on, we were talking about the headphones.
I was so yeah. Oh yeah. Why don't you like headphones?
I do.
Or you do.
I really like them. I think they're necessary, especially if you have more than two people, because there's a lot of without them, there's a lot of talking over. But with
The
them, you could hear.
crosstalk, yeah, it's not as jarring without headphones, so you do it more sometimes.
Yeah, well,
Surprisingly, Rick, people still do it with headphones on.
Well,
Isn't that amazing?
Talking over could still be a choice you make, but I think that you make it more without headphones because I'm hearing me louder than I'm hearing you.
Yeah.
And as much as I interrupt and talk over people, I am pretty aware of that thing.
Yeah.
Because I watch it happen so much, and I go on other people's podcasts, they don't have headphones, and I'm like, so I was thinking like, I want them, but not at the expense of you not having them, because if I go, I want you to hear that.
Right.
So I was being a little selfish.
Well, I can hear you loud. For me, it helps me focus a lot. If I don't have the headphones on, I get distracted by other things happening in the room.
Yeah, I get that.
Can I ask you a question related to autism, but only as it relates to male listeners of the show with autism?
As long as this doesn't include females on the spectrum.
Okay, It doesn't.
Okay.
How do you connect? How do you that's the question we've gotten. I'm like, because that's why when I saw that clip on your Instagram, I got so excited. I'm like, finally, we can ask somebody this because.
How do I connect? Could you ask that more specifically?
Like, the couple guys that have written us, like, they just don't know how to connect with women or to keep following up or to gauge if they're interested or not.
Yeah. So to not sound too political, I will answer that for me and not for autism.
Of course, yeah. That's why everything is your experience. You're not a spokesperson.
But the idea of like, how do you know how they feel about you? That is like you gotta ask.
And how do you ask? Because I think that's the next step. Like, what words do you use? Like, can you give me an example of? Like
Sure.
Yeah.
When I came in here before, near the beginning, you go, "Oh, this is gonna be tough to connect with you." You said to me.
Mm-hmm.
I realized that maybe I'm doing too many jokes, and as much as I want to, it's getting in the way since we only have an hour.
Right.
Do you feel that I have put the jokes down enough and been able to be sincere with you?
Yes, very much. Yeah.
Good.
So that's
I'll ask.
Yeah,
I'll ask
that's
a
great
specific
communication.
question.
That's a great way. And I think a lot of people, regardless of what their neurotypical, atypical is, we need like examples of sentences to say sometimes, you know?
So where it gets tricky is my experiences, a lot of people aren't in touch with what they're really thinking, or excuse me, not in touch with what they're really feeling. They're reacting to something. They know they don't like something. They don't necessarily know why. Not that they can't figure it out if they just go, what's going on? But they don't do that.
Yeah.
So it's tough for when somebody says, how you doing? Excuse me, I burped. If somebody says, how you doing? And they're really...
That was kind of you to not do it in the mic because many people have.
Even without the headphones. When somebody says, how you doing in a non-superficial way, like really like, even a specific... You're not talking to your parents. Are you feeling like...
Yeah.
Asking, you don't know.
Right.
So you're going to tell me something that is not real. And then that's going to calibrate how I think you are. And over
It's
time,
like a literal, yeah.
Over time, you get calibrated to things that aren't real, and neither of us know that unless one of us knows that. So
I see. That is tricky. Yeah.
So I ask so many questions, and in the dating, like with girlfriends, I have learned that they could feel interrogated.
Oh, really?
So now, when I ask questions, I've chosen to say, I want to let you know that I believe you. Something's not adding up for me, and I'm just trying to like better understand. Could I ask, like, I have so many questions I want to ask about this.
Yeah, that's like a nice lead in.
And then like the person, okay.
That's such a beautiful form of communication that honestly you don't get in the relationships a lot anyway, regardless. So that's
right.
I imagine that also is very helpful for like bonding with that person, is just talking to them in that way is beautiful.
If I know that could be it's too much, you're talking too much about how you feel. Or like you ask, like it's not, none of it is that deep. I know. I just didn't remember that I did this.
Right.
And then it's like where I struggle with, where's that balance of the other person, the way they're what feels like reacting to me, is it because they don't know how to communicate with me? They don't like the way I communicate with them? Now there's nothing I could do.
Yeah.
And I have found myself in places where I work so hard on communicating and asking questions with intention and answering things with such specificity that, like, I feel like I've come out the other end being too much of this thing.
I see.
The way I was saying, like, I would say sorry all the time. I've made a point to say it a lot less. I would come into a situation, sorry, by the way, I know we don't really know each other. I'm going to probably be doing a lot of jokes, and I want to be doing jokes. If it's too much, you just let me know. Like, shtick into, like, easing you in and setting up that expectation. But then it's, like, so over-communicative. And
yeah, I don't know. I like that, but yeah, I know not everybody
I do
does.
too.
Yeah.
And somebody's not wrong for not liking that.
Right. Right.
But then now what?
Yeah, you know, it's interesting. There's a lot of sayings in our culture that have been around forever. Like when I was a kid, I remember a neighbor once said to me, it's so weird that this memory's like burned in my brain. I don't have an emotional attachment to it, but the neighbor said, "Oh, bye, Krystyna, we'll see you later." And I went home and I go, "Hey,
Yeah,
Dad,
maybe.
he said they would see me later. Are we going over their house tonight for dinner?" And he's like, "No, it's a saying." And I was like, "Wait, but why would you I was so like almost pissed. I'm like,
yeah.
why would you say that if I'm not going to see you later? Because I was trying to understand things and trying to understand people. And there are a lot of things people dole out in their communication that are just, they don't mean them.
Well, he is gonna
pardon
see
me,
you
rude.
later.
I'm pulling up an example of something that happened yesterday.
Yeah.
I think it's also like changing your concept of what later means. Okay,
True,
so it's
true,
like
true.
it's later is anything in the future, right? So
Right,
it's like
that's
we're
true.
just it's like oh, you could also just think of it as like expanding into like longer terms.
Sure. Yeah, but I remember getting like, do we have an appointment to see him later? No, we just see him around. I'm like,
An appointment.
Okay. Yeah, like I was
Yeah, as
so
a kid, it's just appointments to
confused.
see
I'm
people.
here for my appointment with my neighbor.
That's never good.
molestation.
That's a fucked up childhood.
I was texting with somebody about a work thing here yesterday, and she said, I said, yes. I said, awesome, thank you. She goes, yes, see you later. I said, are you in New York? She said, I am, but it was just a way of speaking.
Yes, yeah, right.
It is, but that is a weird, like,
But a way of speaking that's bullshit. Kinda.
yeah, see you later is,
think
but it
see
is
you
also
around is more
optimistic, I guess.
I think I was gonna say, I was like, if you want to go
See
really
you
deep into it, I
around.
think people also have a problem with goodbyes and endings. So it's a way
Yeah.
of kind of just putting an ellipses on an interaction that you have. Even
That's
if
why I
you
love
have
an Irish goodbye.
Yeah, even if you I love an Irish goodbye as
I
well.
love an Irish
It's my
goodbye.
favorite goodbye.
Let's just skip
That's
this
where you
shit and
go,
leave.
I'll see you later. Oh, jeez, don't do voices. Excuse me.
I think that was an Australian goodbye, Rick.
See you later. No, you won't see you
Oh,
later.
he's getting more water.
He was set that up so he
Two
could
more.
go and get water, and we're
You're
on
our
to you.
thirstiest guest. I love it.
I know. Jesus,
Water's really important.
I feel bad. I would have.
That's why this episode
Yes,
is sponsored
sir.
by Liquid Ivey. Head on over to Liquid Ivey/Tyso to get 10, you get it.
I would have gotten you a bigger bottle of water had I known how thirsty you were.
It's good to be hydrated.
I got these little ones because most times people drink like half the
Right.
bottle and then throw it away, and it
I
just
think that's good.
drives me nuts.
Yeah. Honestly, that's the way to go.
It's so
Small
wasteful.
bottles.
Isn't that what
I
the
can't.
pirate said when he walked into a bar with a rope coming out of his pants?
Yes.
With a steering wheel attached to the other end?
You said you gotta get smaller bottles of water, you guys. We're wasting
No,
them.
no, Arg, you're driving me nuts.
All right, you're driving me nuts.
You know that joke, right?
yeah.
You
Cla-
itch your
a
head like a
classic.
cat. Has
What?
anyone ever told you that?
A what?
Did we
did
have the
she do
camera
this?
angle on there?
Did she do this?
Oh, I did it because I don't know. I thought it would somehow protect my makeup more, but
Yeah, that's whenever I do that, it's
doesn't.
like to that. Or sometimes I
if
feel like I
you
can
weren't-
absorb oil with my palm, and I'm like, that's not
Yeah, I
how
feel like
that
this is a
works.
cleaner side of your hand, so I like to touch
Yeah.
it with that, so it's better
Then
for
I
your
don't want to
skin.
break out.
You know, you touch elevator buttons with your knuckle
I do
or
that, yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
So then you think,
Guys,
'cause-
how am I the one with OCD and you guys are fucking touching them with your
Yeah.
knuckle?
What do
I
you touch
don't.
with?
Because
my
I-
finger.
I get so many eye infections, and I do this all the time, and I try not to. So when I remember to not touch shit with my fingers, I try to.
my immune system is so strong because I'm touching everything and then
Nice.
right to a sandwich.
I've been doing that. I've been intentionally doing that.
Are you serious?
I still
shit?
wash my hands before meals,
But you touch more stuff.
but I would not touch my phone or anything.
The phone's so dirty, yeah.
So dirty.
I use a thing I found on Shark Tank called phone soap.
Really?
Yeah, it's a little, it's a container, and then you put your phone in, or they have the phone home, which is bigger. You can put your keys, your glasses, and stuff, and it's 10 minutes of ultraviolet light, like what they use for
Oh, and it
like
kills the
heat supplies.
bacteria.
They say, and it at least does peace of mind for me.
Nice.
That's
Yes,
fun.
so so and so.
And the peace of mind is worth its weight in gold.
I want to go back to the jokes real quick
Yeah.
for and dating and connecting and
Yes, please.
meeting people, which is you don't know how people are feeling and how they communicate with them and giving them a safe space while you showing up authentically and all these things that you have to calibrate and find. And at a certain point, are you on a similar frequency where that's even possible?
Yeah.
And assuming that is the case, but the thing that surpasses all of it, no matter what frequency you are, or I guess I should say a wider range of frequency is like if you could go in and do jokes, you know, not set up punchline necessarily, but just
Playful.
Yeah, just you know.
Right.
You know, I was not the best example, but you
I know what you mean. Yeah,
but just
yeah.
like, and then you
Well,
throw.
you test the waters.
Everyone
Yeah, pun
loves
intended.
it. Uh-oh, heads up.
And now, like, we just had a
Yes.
had a call and response.
Totally.
And a call and response in play. Also, you get to know what jokes they do, what sides of humor, how dark are they, how okay are they with dark stuff. When when something is triggered, you say, "Oh, wait, what's going on?"
Yeah.
Like, I have so many podcasts that get like real deep and like crying and like learning about each other. And there's 3 that I have in mind in particular, but I'm sure there's more. But on all 3 of those, the first 25 minutes is just maybe, you know, one could argue too many jokes. But it's like once you do that, it's like, all right.
Right.
I'm safe. You're safe. Let's get into it.
Totally.
Yeah, I think it's fine. My only irritation with it would be like there are some people who literally can never turn it off, and that is like it just drains me.
Well, that you can't form a connection
in
really.
unspeakable way, and it's just I'm sitting there the whole time like, what is this person running from?
But
for
that's
the love
but,
of God.
but you're sitting there thinking it
Yeah.
instead of saying, "Hold on a second."
Well, I mean, these are people that I don't know that well.
Oh, you're not talking about in podcasting.
No, I mean, every now
we've had people come on
believe
and
me,
like, they're just like
I always say
because Corinne always says something, but like
I say too much.
we like getting deep and we kind of because we've been doing it for a while. I think I've been not accused of this because it's not a bad thing, but it is a specific thing of like even when I'm talking to somebody on the phone, I get right to it. I don't do the niceties, which
Like
I think
Jews
are
with their
valid.
bowling.
Absolutely, just right to it.
But what if somebody's doing too many jokes?
It
And
throws me off.
Everybody could turn it off.
Right.
And that's coming from the guy
Yeah.
that most people say can't turn it off. Everybody can turn it off.
You could certainly turn it off. You just demonstrated it.
But sometimes I'm in a mood.
Oh, I see.
You know,
and
and-
I get that. You're riding that. You're kind of getting carried on this like jokey wave. And like my boyfriend and I, one of us sometimes will get like that. And it's like, fuck, you want me to be serious and I can't. I'm sorry. I got to like walk around or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But in a podcast, if you want somebody to be and you feel like they can't and you're annoyed, there's you know.
Well, I'll just say it. We'll just say it. Yeah.
Also, I mean, we're just used to dealing with so many different personalities too. When you're being a comedian, I mean, it's just an absolute freak show.
Yeah, I've heard that. I've heard that.
But it seems normal to you.
No, I don't. I haven't experienced
When
that.
you're playful
Really? I
with
was like,
comedians,
it's jarring to me.
it's one way. But like we've had comedians on here that have never, like male comedians that have never. We've asked them a series of questions of things that we just generally want to know. We didn't like sit there and plan. This is what I'm going to ask them. That just comes off. And they've like never thought about these questions ever, and they've told us that. Like I've never even considered
Can you give me an
that in
example
my
of a
life.
question?
In terms of like, so what work do you put? Like we asked a male comedian once, like, what kind of work do what do you add to your
Why are you
relationship?
qualifying this with male comedian? It's more specific with males
Because
that
this
don't
is where
think
I
about
find
it?
out. Yeah, exactly. And usually, if we have a man on that's not a comedian, he has some type of specialty, or like one of us has dated him, obviously, to go with the theme of the show. But like, yeah. So
That's what it is. It's literally guys. It started with guys that you actually literally had sex with.
yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was about people coming on talking about people that they had sex with.
No.
It's
Well,
And
grown
those
to that.
experiences.
It's evolved to that
Sometimes.
because we've been doing it for so long. Like I feel like
But you know,
my
it-
number's not high.
It was literally like we would have on, and you know, specifically it was like more intimate relationships, like actual long-term boyfriends we would have on to discuss like a social experiment, to discuss
Right.
things that are not discussed in the midst of the relationship, and we did it after.
Yeah, but you ran out of people unless you just keep fucking people.
We didn't. People always say we ran out of people. We actually really didn't. But the show got too big where it was self-destructive.
Yeah, and to have
To
that intimate
continuously
of a
talk
By
about
too
conversation.
big, you mean the size of your audience?
Yeah,
Yes.
and you get
What
to
is
the
that?
point where you're like, oh, I'm being like really vulnerable, but now it's being used against me.
Oh,
and I
you're
don't like
giving
that.
out. You're giving out too much of like your
Personal
privacy.
Yeah,
life.
and
Yeah,
Rick,
yeah,
people
yeah.
were literally fucking our boyfriends.
Yeah,
or
so
we're
I was like,
trying
I didn't
to.
like that. That felt bad.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That's so culty.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it feels
It's
like
like
a
a-
violation.
Who are some of
so-
your boyfriends?
Stephen Penta.
Ben Ivory?
I would literally
Benjamin.
I would love for you to text me and be like, Corinne, I fucked your boyfriend.
That would- honestly, I would-
bring
we
me
wouldn't mind
great
if you did.
Oh, we'd have to do a
satisfaction.
2.0.
Yeah.
So we have to wrap. Do you want to do?
Yeah. Okay. So we have a new segment. We've only done it one other time, but it is called Rock Hard Takes. Okay. And so this is like
Rock hard take.
Rock hard takes.
Yeah, we'll do a drop.
Oh,
Maybe
that's great.
We'll use yours. Maybe.
Yeah, that was great.
We're
That
not
was a good
paying
VO.
you, but
We'll pay
Yeah,
you in
it's fine.
appreciation.
You said you'll use that. Are you planning on editing this part out?
what? No.
Oh, I
no.
can make that happen.
No,
not editing out, but
No, I'm
add
saying
in.
I want to use you saying Rock Hard Takes every time.
Rock
now.
hard takes. Wait.
into the mic though.
Well, I was peeking.
No,
That's
but
all right. He can debuffle.
You're doing his job too, right?
Rock hard takes.
That was
That
awesome.
didn't peak.
I'm gonna use the first one, the one that you didn't know.
I
Yeah, that
peaked.
was great.
I
That was
did it right.
perfect.
I don't have headphones and I know.
We're gonna present to you a
We all peaked,
situation.
didn't we? Okay. Yes. So it's Rock Hard Takes, and it's debate rules. So Mike is going to give us a topic. It's from the realm of sex, dating, relationships, and you have to decide if you're vehemently for it or vehemently against it, and let us know why. There is no medium. No matter how you really feel, you have to. A
to be
gun
rock
to your
hard
head.
about
The
it.
stakes are higher because you say vehemently.
Vehemently?
But like just like yes or no is basically what you're
No,
saying,
it's a
right?
rock
It's a
hard
rock.
take.
No, it's rock hard. Yes.
The only take you could have is rock hard.
Yes. Not a floppy chub
We don't
take.
care.
Okay.
Maybe we'll just say white people. Can you imagine if that's what we gave you?
Yeah, I don't think I understand the game well enough
Do you
yet.
like them or not?
Oh.
So
Rock
some of
hard
the things
takes.
of like
Yeah.
some things, like some concepts,
No,
it's like,
it
do you
would
think
have to
this
be
is
like,
real or not?
Yes.
Oh.
Right.
Okay.
True.
Now, but isn't that forcing a strong point of view? What if I
Yeah,
don't?
that's
Rock
a
hard
society.
take.
Yeah, we're
That's the
making-
society that
that's
we live
exactly
in.
what-
It's social
yes.
No gray
commentary, really, if
area.
you think about it, because nothing goes
You
viral.
are
black or
so
white.
smart and deep.
Thank you.
That's a rock hard take. Yeah, so that's what we're doing. That's exactly what it is, and it kind of reveals how stupid it is. But we're overthinking it. We're like, I'm thinking
This is
about
supposed
it.
to be
I'm
rock
thinking
hard,
about
yes,
it just
or
the
rock
right
hard,
amount.
no.
Good. Okay. Perfect.
All
well,
right,
that's not a rock hard take.
Mike. Hit
though.
us.
All right,
You'll go first.
To start us out, male birth control.
For it or against it.
I can't not. I have to tell you what. It's
Well,
You can
defend
tell
your
us
take.
why.
No, you can tell us why.
You
But
say
you got-
rock hard yes or rock hard no.
Is it should males be taking them instead of females? Should they exist? Should males be given the option? What about them?
That's a very good
Interpret
question.
All
your
great
own way,
questions, but
however you
not for
want.
rock hard
Yeah.
takes, Rick.
You take
Are you
it
for
however
it or are you
want to
against
take
it, Rick? Let's go.
That's like saying eggs, and it's like, well, are you talking about omelets? Or are we talking about
That's right.
croissants?
Eggs is easy. It's a rock hard yes. Stop being ridiculous.
I like baked good. Okay.
You take it however you want to take it. And
But
then you
you-
say rock hard
but
yes.
you gotta take
I
a
have a
rock
rock
hard-
hard take on
rock hard takes?
I have a rock hard
Ooh,
take.
meta.
Incidentally, yes.
Of course you do.
But I have a
We're in
rock
one
hard
of
take
those
on
MC
birth
Escher
control.
drawings.
It doesn't. I have a rock hard take on birth control that women take.
Well, then apply it to male birth control.
If it's something that you feel is really beneficial for your
That's not
lifestyle,
rock
go
hard.
for it. But it's going to fuck up your hormones.
sounds
and
medium
be
hard.
aware.
You're
Rick,
rock hard
yes or no?
I also disagree with that. That's propaganda that they've been
I've
floating
dated
around.
people who's been on them and
yes,
off of them.
Individual people sometimes have experience, but they're trying to do
Have
this
you ever
thing.
dated anybody from Ohio?
Yes.
Oh, never mind then.
You know that. Rock hard take.
Yeah,
Ohio,
I
no.
mean, yeah, sure. It serves a purpose.
Sure wouldn't
So are
be used
you
in a
a-
rock hard take.
I don't have one.
Sure is a
You,
mediocre
you
chub.
must have one.
You know what's
For the
let me
purposes
tell you,
of this game, you have to choose rock hard yes or rock
You
hard
love
no.
to play so much.
But in the explanation of why you said
Yes.
rock hard yes or rock hard no, you can also give us
could
your
you give me an
interpretation
example of
the
what that is? Is a
question.
vasectomy that?
No, there's
No.
studies that are there's pills that are coming
Yeah.
on them potentially about to be on the market that are
Yeah,
male birth
and do we
control.
know the side effects and how
That's
well they
not
work?
important here, Rick. Yes
But
or no?
It is literally the only way I could have a rock
We
hard
want
take.
you to have an ignorant rock hard take.
And
Have you been on the
IRHT?
internet? People
I
have
don't
rock
think
hard
so.
takes about things they don't know about all the time.
Well, you know what? Those people on the internet aren't trying to establish a credible voice.
That's what you're working
just
on
had a
right
track
now.
on our
Have you
listeners.
watched the Take Your Shoes Off podcast?
I have.
Credible.
I watched it and like poop got animated on someone's face.
You must have watched the first 25 minutes.
Connecting. We're having a fun time. Let it fly.
I think that it serves a purpose. I'd like to read the research.
Okay.
Yes.
We'll just play him saying rock hard takes after it so it feels more rock hard.
Rock
Yeah.
hard take.
Rock hard take.
Rock hard takes.
All right. Do you guys want
you
to
don't
answer that
answer
one?
them?
No, we were answering them.
I'm
we were
rock
just so
hard, yes.
frazzled.
Male birth control. I'm pro it. I think men should take it, and women should never take it again a day in their life, and every man should take it.
Oh, that's such propaganda.
That's my rock hard take.
You didn't even fucking research it. My rock hard take is yes to male birth control, but I think women should still take it. I just think it's like the responsibility shouldn't be solely on women in a relationship that we are claiming is equal.
You know, it's
rock
funny
hard
that
take.
it's funny
Rock
that you
hard
say that for
take.
someone who isn't even wearing pants. Oh, sorry. Yes, you are. I couldn't see them.
They're camouflage.
All right, next
They're
one.
camouflage, everyone. It's a bit. We're doing a bit.
Were you showing your camouflage toe? Camel toe. Rock hard take.
All right. The next one
That one needed some work.
It's I'm pitching it.
You're
Yeah,
working.
yeah, yeah.
We're workshopping.
Self-pitch.
the next one I have here. Trying to make a partner laugh during sex. So bits in the bedroom. Yes or no?
Yes, rock hard take. But also make sure that that's not something you do all the time. Make her come, go to town on her, and get intense, eye contact, drool, whatever it is that your animal instincts need. But part of even fucking the wildest animals, dude, like to laugh when they fuck each other.
Are we talking about actual
Bald eagles don't laugh when they fuck.
Yeah, that's because they're on finasteride and their testosterone is so low. But regular eagles do. Rock hard take.
My rock hard take is absolutely the fuck not. Do no joking in the bedroom. The bedroom is for fucking and coming.
Cool. Well, then you better have some segments because that's going to get boring real fast.
Do we start a segment of give me your take on my rock hard take, or did you just invent that? Rock hard takes.
Oh man! Although I've gotten a little bit more into being funny in the bedroom, my rock hard take is going to have to be no as well.
My girlfriend does voices sometimes.
This is not
In the
this
bedroom?
rock hard take is not about what
It's-
Rick's girlfriend does.
Not necessarily in the bedroom, but on the counter.
She'll get on the counter and go, "Hey, Rick."
No, they're like funny. Not to be disrespectful. I think your voices are very funny, but they're more funny, catered to the sounds of sex. The sounds of sex. And
Oh, like
Don't fuck me, mister.
Like that?
no, but that would be fine with me. Also,
Okay.
I don't know why it's in this game that you have to be being raped.
no. I mean, she said, "Don't fuck me, mister."
said,
Maybe
"Don't
she was
fuck
just done
me."
being fucked.
Yeah, that's not fun. I'm going to send you some tapes
Dumb
that I don't want to put in here.
All right, next one. We got
Last one, yeah.
sex in public. Rock hard take, yes or no?
Does public mean outside or does public mean in front of people?
No,
That's a good question.
as the judge here, I wrote it as like a bathroom or a park or something.
Fuck in the bathroom, rock hard take.
So
So that's a yes?
specifically, the yes is
as long
yes.
as you're not like, if you're not like, around, there's sexual,
Yeah.
like, what's it called?
There's a time and a place.
Yeah, like if you're making somebody like uncomfortable because you're trying to get your rock off.
Oh well, yeah, that's disgusting.
But yeah, but if you're just trying to, if you're going in the dressing room and, you slip in there too and you sit on the floor and you eat her pussy while you're looking up, enjoy
You were
yourself.
there anyway.
Frost yourself.
You're looking
Yeah.
up, yeah.
My rock hard take, when sex in public, when it's at a place that people have public sex, absolutely the fuck yes. Rock hard yes.
Like an
'cause
Arby's.
That's really, no, like a sex club. My rock hard, if you're trying to have sex in a place where there's like people just doing a thing that has nothing to do with sex, fuck you. Go to bed. Go to a hotel. Go to your bedroom. That's a rock hard no.
Oh, my rock hard take is yes, definitely. I've had sex. I was like, I've had sex at a lot of public places, definitely a lot of bathrooms. Krystyna's birthday party.
Hell yeah.
I was at a hotel though, and it was like we did move away from
Made
other
for
people.
sex.
We moved away from other people, but then other people somehow drifted towards us.
You're like, hey, yeah, I'll take a vodka. Go get it for me.
But yeah, my rock hard take is yes, absolutely.
Rock hard take.
You gave us a lot of takes of that. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
One of
This
them
has
will
been really
work.
great.
Yeah.
Yeah. What would you like to promote? Thank you so much for being here. We really
you for
appreciate
having
it. Yeah. Where can we find more of you?
What is what I already did? Just my podcast, Take Your Shoes Off podcast.
Okay.
And thank you for having me.
Yeah, it was really fun. Thanks
Yeah.
for being here.
Thank you so much. This has been Guys We Fcked, the anti-slut shaming podcast. We'll talk to you next Friday.
I also think it's really important what you guys are doing.